Welcome to Security Check. Let's talk about some secret rares that we have gotten lately and before, and how splashable secrets are a little bit problematic thing in Digimon these days, in our opinion.
Yeah, we have like a bunch of splashable secrets at this point in time.
Yeah, basically we don't have like a bunch, like we don't have like tens and tens of splashable secrets, but we've gotten 2 in the last 4 months or something.
Yeah,
and we got
2 in last 2 sets for us.
yeah,
actually,
yeah, and so for those who are not in the know for some reason, we are talking about the first one was Death Axmon.
Yeah,
and Death Axmon was the splashable secret. Its price got like ridiculous at some point.
I sold one of my altars for 85 euros.
Yeah, and the normal ones were like 50 to 70 euros or something along those lines. Too much. Then we got Shine Greymon Ruin Mode that went from like 30 to 35 euros secret to something like 80 euro secret or something ridiculous.
I bought my altar at the Ruin Mode for 38 euros.
Yeah. And then
it's still not as cheap, even it got like reprint.
Yeah, Ruin Mode got reprinted and the normal ones still go for like
50 euros.
50 euros. And then we got Medieval Gallantmon, which also short up to like 50 to 70 euros or something along those lines. Way too much.
Ruin Mode is at cheapest 50 euros.
Yeah. And as the newest addition to this list, we got the new Omnimon X. That is like... I think it's the most... Well, Death Axmon has lost its price. That is not that
it expensive. Also got 2 reprints.
Yeah, but like Omnimon is the cheapest of the bunch, I think. Yeah. But it's still like 30 to 40 euros or something.
Yeah, Medieval Gallantmon is like 60 to 70, the base art.
Yeah. So these cards are like... It would not be problematic if these cards were like... Cheap or like... Yeah.
Easily accessible.
Yeah, but they are secrets and they go to way too many decks because there's basically no restrictions in any of these.
Omnimon X is like the most restrictive.
Well, it's
and Ruin Mode maybe.
Yeah, it's restrictive in the same way as Ruin Mode is, that it's restricted by its colors.
Yeah, so if you don't play Ruin Mode, you probably play Omni X.
Yeah, because like between Ruin Mode and Omni X, you're only missing green and black.
Green and black.
Yeah, and black hasn't been good in forever. Yeah. And green has Medieval Gallantmon.
Yeah. every color has Medieval Gallantmon because Medieval Gallantmon and Death Axmon are like the most splashable. You can put them in any deck and you don't need to like think, can I Digivolve this or like what can I do with this, because you can always just play them. And like your opponent can play Floodgates to prevent that, but like paying 11 to hard slam Medieval Gallantmon, getting rid of the Floodgate and something else is like, okay, no, answer this. And use your whole turn to answer this.
Yeah. And it's like these secret rares that go to like basically any of their decks of color, or Medieval Gallantmon that can literally go to any deck in the game. And like Death Axmon has been power crept at this point, so it's like
I think Death Axmon is more like reliant on meta because DD Evolution is still strong and like the like it can be a board wipe if you play some decks that go really wide.
Yeah,
and like
I just think that the Death Axmon is like it doesn't get cheap enough in most of our meta games.
You can see that it was printed back in BT9.
Yeah.
It's still a super strong card.
Yeah, but it just doesn't like... Because your opponent probably most of the time don't, if they're not certain decks, doesn't have more than like 4 things on the board. Or something like along those lines.
And then you need to pay like 8
for Death Axmon. And even if you play 8 for Death Axmon, if it does Digivolve your opponent's level 6 or something, it didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
Basically. But yeah, all of these they go to or most of their decks of their color. Medieval goes to any deck if you want it, and the prices are sky high because of that. Because everyone needs at least one of these. Some of the decks like would want to like have multiples of these.
Yeah, like Royal Knights is like the best example of that, because you would like to have 4 Omniaxes and 3 to 4 of Medieval Gallantmon, and it gets so effing expensive.
Yeah, and it also makes decks. You either have to lower your deck's power level, or you need to like take out the cash and like pay up to get your deck. And of course, there's always costs to card games. Of course there are.
Yeah, that's like...
But like these multi-purpose splashable secret rares are not a good way to like make secret rares.
Yeah, I hate the fact that these are secret rares. Like,
if all of these were super rares, there would be no problem.
Yeah.
There would be no this part of the video. There would be not this video that will be
this video, yeah.
made later on. And like, it's just they are so inaccessible as a secret rares because there's maybe one in a box, and maybe it isn't even the secret rare that you want that is in the box. And then when everyone needs the secret rare, the price starts climbing and climbing and climbing. And if you don't immediately purchase your cards, and not everyone has the possibility to just like go and, okay, I will buy this 20 euro secret rare in 4 offs right now because I expect its price to climb.
Yeah.
Not everyone.
It's expensive. It's like some of us are like or like don't have a job or a good enough job to just like pay these prices, or are students, or like
but then it's like you should do it immediately so the prices don't just like inflate like 2 weeks after you decide not to
and if you are not like super into the market, you probably won't even realize that they were cheaper at some point. Like, I remember I was looking at Medieval Gallantmon's Altart when it came out. It was like 40 euros or 45 maybe. And I was like, I'll wait a week or 2, and it was 70 euros.
Yeah. And these are the biggest offenders of like pushing people out of some decks, because like, okay, this deck needs 2 ruin modes. I don't have ruin modes. I don't have 100 to 150 euros or more to just to get my deck together, or like, Green Rangers kinda need 2 to 4 medieval Gallantmons. I guess I don't build this deck, or I need to play like watered down version of the deck.
Yeah, it's so sad when your deck needs the like super expensive secret rare that everyone wants.
And I would be just fine with the fact that like if these secret rares, if they're splashable, if their price would stay somewhere around maybe 20 to 30 euros, I would be like, okay, that's reasonable-ish if you could expect the price to like stay around there. But like Medieval Gallantmon went like from 30 euro to 60 euro in like a week or something.
Yeah.
And
it was more expensive at some point.
Yeah. So it was like, if you didn't immediately like invest, which is a very bad word in card games.
I like it that you can ask what you want from your cards. Like, you can set your price, but I hate the fact that people buy them with that price. You can do the like choice that, okay, I will not buy them. If anyone won't pay 60 euros for Medieval Gallantmon, price will get down.
Yeah.
But because so many people have already done that,
the price stays, and people still need their medievals. They want to do well in tournaments.
Yeah.
They need the medievals or whatever secret rare we're talking about.
Yeah.
It can be ruin mode. It can be.
And I'm part of the problem. And I know that.
Well, you at least buy Altarts, which is kind of different in my opinion, because it's
that's true.
They don't really contribute to the price of the normal version, in my opinion. In a
Sometimes the alt art could be like 50 euros and normal one is 10 euros or 15 euros. It can be that.
But yeah, like there should be value in your cards in card games. I'm fine with that. But like when the secret rares are cards that like most of the players need, it starts to become a problem. And now we have 2 sets of like must-have secret rares, and like well Omnimon X is like if you play a blue or a red high-end, you probably need at least one Omnimon X.
Yeah.
So it's like it isn't, and that's probably why its price is a little bit lower than most of the others. Well, except like I guess the Ethaxmon, but like it's lower, but it's still on the high end of that. Like my like
over 30 euros of like for one card is a lot.
Yeah, and it's
especially when it's the base art.
Yeah, and it's like you need that 1 or 2 Omnimon X or something, whatever you need, and then you go and look that it costs you 30 to 35 euros, and you're like,
and then you add postage to that.
Yeah, and then it's like close to 40 euros or more for one card that is not even like your main part of your deck. It's just a card that will make your like ending games better the one time when you draw it and you have the certain things or something. And it's like it's way too much to pay for that card, in my opinion. And like it just pushes the prices of decks up for no reason.
Yeah.
And I don't even think that like that super playable secret rares actually push like box sales even like more than like if there would be Medieval Gallantmon as a super rare in like a set, it would probably sell the same amounts of like,
or even better, because you could just buy like single boosters and like maybe get it or like have a higher chance to get it.
And the secondary market doesn't really affect like Bandai's bottom line. They want to
sell products,
sell boxes, and like I think like these kind of secret rares don't actually like contribute that much more to the sales of the boxes as a whole. Of course, it can be a little marginal difference, but on the other hand, if the cards would be super rares and then people realize, okay, these cards are nuts, they will buy the product more again. So.
I hate the concept of secret rare. I would much rather enjoy if we didn't have the secret rare category as a whole at all, and all like high-end cards were super rares. Like
then the secret rare slot, it would be only be altars or something.
And that would be so much better.
Yeah. Secret rares has been such a like strange bunch of things. Because it's like it's either like super specific deck things, like archetypical things, which is fine if the price doesn't like go.
Yeah, like in BD or in special release 2.0 we got Seed Millennium one and Lucemon Satan mode, and those are under 10 euros.
Yeah.
The altars are like 11 to 12 euros.
Yeah, I think if we have to have secret rares, I think the sweet spot for like secret rares would be cards that would be 15 to 20 euros in value, so your secret rare spot has value, and you don't feel bad about like pulling secret rares.
Nene or the Luminamon Nene version 1 euro secret.
Yeah, but now it's like the secrets are either utterly unplayable or they're super archetypical, which then the price is dependent on how good the archetype is, or they are like Medieval Gallantmon, Omnimon X, or Shine Greymon Ruin mode that just break the market.
Yeah.
And then you're like the choices there are like bad most of the time. So it's like
and like even bad secret rares can affect the like market price of cards, because if people open boxes for like alt arts or super rares, then the super rares will be more expensive. Like BT8 was like kinda the super rares were kinda valuable because Creepymon and Paladin mode were not good cards.
Yeah, and then there are some and like I'm also a hater of super rares that cost like 20 like
Hexablaumon.
15 to 20 euros. Indeed, Hexablaumon. But like secret rares are even worse. Like I can stomach like 1 or 2 super rares here and there getting more expensive. That's just how card games work.
Yeah.
But like splashable secret rares should not be a thing. That is my like biggest like or again like they have pushed Medieval Gallantmon and like Omnimon X and Ruin Mode like pretty hard with their like how universal they are in their effects and like there's basically no conditions anywhere except like Omnimon X has the fact that it cannot like destroy the whole field if it doesn't have X antibody under it. Boo-hoo.
Yeah, you can just put X antibody under it.
Yeah, and so it's like, and they just do everything and too much in one. They are of course secret rare power level, but they're also too broad in their applications, and then they become expensive, which pushes out players from getting certain decks built, or the decks are watered down worse versions because you cannot put like 200 euros or whatever for the secret rares for the deck.
Yeah.
I guess that's everything. Thank you for listening for this rant about splashable secret rares.
But thank you for listening us ramble about different things. Or if this is a separate video, thank you for listening to this video. If you want to listen us ramble more, we have this whole meta check podcast. I try to remember to cut this out of that. And we ramble a lot in there.
We have much to say.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, consider becoming a channel member, and we will see you at the next video.
Bye!